The health ranges your doctor uses were built on studies where women were mostly left out. So if you're a woman and your doctor tells you that your blood pressure is fine, he might be right for him. But for you, that might be a warning sign that you're completely missing. And here's how AI can help with that. Hi, I'm Chantal and welcome to AI for 50 Plus, born before Wi-Fi, owning AI. This is video 6 of the Smart Longevity series, and we are looking at the gender gap, not politically or financially, but biologically. In the last video, video 5, we decoded our blood work to track a number of factors like cardiovascular health, an important tier 1 factor for longevity. But there's a massive catch. Often the markers used to track these factors don't mean the same thing for everyone. Now, if you want to check out the ranked factors for longevity and for day-to-day well-being, go to video 1 of the series where I also show you how to set up those notebooks. The link is in the description below. Today, let's apply this gender gap filter to all that biological data. What happens? Well, it's all about estrogen. For a woman, she has an estrogen shield until menopause. And that shield manages the blood sugar, maintains bone density, and keeps the blood vessels flexible. But then, between 45 and 55, when menopause hits, that shield is gone, so that protection is gone. And it's not gradual. It's like a hard left turn. For men, it's different. The risks start earlier, but it's much more gradual. And at some point, I would say between 55 and 60, depending on when the woman hits menopause, the two paths or the two trajectories of their markers actually cross. And then the risks become higher. And so that's why a marker, something that would be fine for a man, becomes, after menopause, not that great for a woman. And this is where AI can really help. Today I'll show you two different outputs. The infographic, a longevity trajectory roadmap that will actually illustrate what I just explained to you. And we'll also look at the 3 most critical markers for both men and women. And then the second output is the dashboard, a head-to-head comparison of your numbers with your partners or your friends. And you'll see in there why identical numbers might tell a very different story depending on if you're a man or if you're a woman. The prompts for both of them are in the description below, so you don't need to worry about it. Now, like for most of the videos in this series, the first step is going into Gemini to generate the prompts that you'll be using in NotebookLM, the second tool. And in this one, what I wanted to show you is that all of these prompts always start with a discovery phase, and then there's a creation phase for the infographic or for the dashboard. And here I describe the role, but then we ask that it discovers what gender the user is. So it has to go into either your different blood test results or in your diary. And then it determines, for example, in my case, that I'm a woman. And then it looks at the research to give us what are the 3 most critical health lenses or pillars or markers that we have to look at for both the woman and for the man. And then let me show you what it produced. So here it is. So this is what I was telling you about. The woman here, it goes much faster at some point because the shield is lost. So what it looks at for women, the bone and muscle quality is really important because the woman was protected before and is no longer protected. Also, metabolic stability as well. So it highlights that and it gives it here a summary here. And then for the man, it's early cardiovascular risk, There's the plaque accumulation that is an important marker, and systemic inflammation as well. So while that part here illustrates what are the most important markers, the part on the right here actually is applied to me. So in this case, one of the markers about metabolism and blood glucose, I don't have an issue. So it says there's no problem there, but to be careful with my muscles and my bone density. So that's where the personalization happens. Now, let me bring you to the second output, the dashboard, and it's always fun when you can compare a bit. Here's the dashboard, and one thing to explain to you, in the prompts you'll see towards the beginning that there are some spaces where you input data. In my case, I did not input myself the systolic blood pressure number because I track my blood pressure into my daily journal. So NotebookLM took it, and that's the real number here. And you also input your own waist to height ratio. So that's the one that I inputted. And for your partner or your friend, you will input the gender, the age, the systolic blood pressure number, and the waist to height ratio as well. And just to say that the numbers here on my side are the right numbers, but on my husband's side, I just put any number there. And what is really interesting is to see, in terms of the blood pressure, that for a woman my age, anything below 120 is okay, but above it, not as great. Whereas for a man, it's anything below 130, that is fine. So if I had the same number here, 125 here, it would have been a bit of a warning sign. Now, just a note on the waist to height ratio. If you have 0.5 or under, it's considered optimal. If you have 0.5, between 0.5 and 0.6, you're moderate risk, and we're talking about cardiovascular risk. And if you're above 0.6, you're considered at risk. Specific information leads to better decisions, and that's the goal of the whole series. Try it. Measure the circumference of your waist, and then divide the circumference by your height to get your waist to height ratio, and you'll see where you fall. And you put that into the prompt, and you also put in the blood pressure number, the systolic one, and then you ask your notebook, what does that mean for someone of my specific age and gender? You never know, it might be helpful. Now, next week, video 7 is about biological age, and that's my favorite video of the whole series. Your passport might have one number for your age, but your body might have a different one. Should be fun. See you next week.